gathering the evidence is the critical thing in the very beginning that you've got to get on and fast before the evidence disappears. There's a lot of evidence that is very important, but it's mostly the physical evidence, and physical evidence is gathered from things like photos of the roadway, the skid marks, photos of the driver, the black box data from the truck is very important. All these big trucks have an electronic data recorder, and they call it a black box. And that data recorder records driving behaviors like slamming of the brakes, harsh turning, shows you speed, shows you when they first hit their brakes before hitting the car. And so it's data that doesn't lie, it can't be manipulated, and it just gives a lot of information leading up to a crash. Independent witnesses, to sending the driver, the company, or the insurance company a preservation letter, a letter putting everybody on notice. Preserve the evidence. I want you to preserve the black box. I want you to preserve the driver's logs. I want you to preserve the driver's cell phone records. I want you to preserve the dash cam. Almost all these trucks have dash cam now. They might look at that dash cam and not like it and delete it. So you got to really get that preservation letter out very soon, asking them to preserve all of that critical data. The federal government requires long-haul drivers to keep driver's logs because drivers tend to drive too long during the day. They get fatigued, they cause crashes. And so there are certain federal regulations like hours of service that they can be on the road before they have to stop and sleep and so forth. And so those driver's logs will tell you how long they had driven in a given day, or how many hours they had driven in the last 3 days. And it also will tell you if they violated those federal regulations. Maintenance records, huge. Maintenance records are big because think about this. Think about a driver who goes to the company and says, "Hey boss, my brakes are going out. I hit them and I'm not really stopping. I'm afraid I'm gonna hit somebody." And the manager says, "I tell you what, there's a little bit of life left in those brakes. Let's go a little bit longer. We'll talk about it next month at our next meeting," or whatever. Next day, driver hits his brakes, can't stop, hits a family of 4, kills him. That company knew about the brakes. The driver tried to do something about it. Company didn't do anything about it. And so maintenance records are huge. It lets you know what was going on with that vehicle leading up to this crash, and did it contribute to the cause of the crash, and did the company and or the driver know about the issue that ultimately caused the crash. Those are probably the most important pieces of evidence. Not calling a lawyer is probably the biggest mistake because it's super time sensitive on gathering evidence that will make or break your case. I would say that's the biggest mistake. Second biggest mistake is really not gathering the evidence, but you can't fault a victim for that because they don't know that they need to gather the evidence, or maybe they're too injured to gather the evidence. You need to do it immediately because it is so time sensitive with the evidence. So contacting a lawyer the very first day is absolutely the safest bet.
444 444 for the number you gotta dial. Life